Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so I just made a Laker video that's more about my reaction to what's going on with the fires than it is about the Lakers. I tried to keep a Laker theme, but I wanted to address my Laker people and talk to them about this. And as I said in that video, I wanted to turn off that and then talk about some things on the therapy session side of things. So yeah, take a look. That's fire in a whole different direction from the other fire that's in this area. The other fire in this area, too, the night where the winds were coming, was back there somewhere. That's a whole nother fire affecting the valley. And that's the one they're telling us here that we may want to brace for the need to evacuate. Now, it's burning stuff not too far from here. I looked online to see what was going on in this area, see if there was any fire, and I didn't see anything. But then I looked on Facebook, and somebody just happened to post something that was, I think it was Karen Bassett posted something yesterday. And I looked at the street names, and it said Van Owen, it said Satakoy. I'm like, yo, Van Owen's the street I'm on leading up to the hotel here. Further down, because I know Van Owen goes all the way to Van Nuys. I walked it. But yeah, nevertheless, it's headed this way. That's really what it comes down to. That thing is headed this way, man. And so as I look over at all that dang smoke over there to the right of me, I'm genuinely wondering if I'm gonna have to get the hell out of here and where the hell I'm gonna go if it comes to that. And the way things are going, I don't think the odds are great that it doesn't, because these fires are blowing strong, and from what I understand, the winds are going to come in again tonight. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I believe these fires are set to destroy a lot more than it's already done. I think they're trying to demolish Los Angeles almost entirely. They probably want to displace all of us, to be honest with you. And I say they with a whole lot of confidence that this is deliberately done by powers that be, that just kind of want to do some things differently out here. Maybe want to have control of some property, or make this place a bit more chaotic for reasons that have to do with things that we probably are not really privy to. But I do think that there's a world where they're going to try to demolish most of Los Angeles entirely. And this is the easy way to do it. It cuts back on certain types of demolition costs and negotiating with people to sell their property and that sort of thing. I don't have to sit up here and try to negotiate with you to sell me your property when a lot of people are gung-ho about staying where they at, if I just willing to burn it all to the ground and pretend it ain't me doing it. You can't sell me a house that's leveled, friend, but you can't get the hell out of there or burn in there with it. Man, that's exactly what I think we're looking at, to be honest with you. And these fires are closing in on all different corners, all different sides. It's like they set a match to different parts of the city when the wind was blowing a certain way, and just waited for it to come in on the entire city. Trying to burn us all alive, I guess. Like, that's genuinely what I'm starting to think this is. As I look at how the structure of these fires are, it's like, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Like, if you surround the mountains, all the mountains, you've set fire to all the mountains, eventually will just close in. All the fires will start to connect, that kind of thing. And so it's concerning, man, when you consider where we're at and how close those smoke is over there. It's concerning. In regards to the theory that I have here, that they're trying to do that. And then that the air quality will make other people move. You know, just the sheer nature of it not being healthy. So, I don't know, man. My conspiracy hopefully doesn't hold any weight, man. It's a lot of good people in all these areas. And people are living the best of their ability. But when it comes to natural disasters, it ain't nothing you can do but get the hell out of there or die with it. That's all there is to it, man. So prayers out to everybody affected by this, everybody who's trying to figure out if they have to leave or not, if they're going to be displaced, that they've already been displaced. Some people probably have lost their homes and are now living with people who may be about to lose their homes, and so they're all going to be displaced together. Like, that's a real thing for some people in this city right now. Maybe already been through the cycle of maybe 2 of those or 3 of those already in the last 4 days. Like, that's a real thing when you consider how many different places are being affected in this area in Los Angeles County. You know, I can totally, I haven't heard any stories like that, but I can totally see somebody in Altadena going to stay with their daughter in Santa Monica, and all of a sudden Santa Monica's on fire. Like, that's a real thing that people are dealing with right now, with these fires being in so many different places all over the city. So yeah, man, I wonder about where I used to live, work, the marina, that area. I don't know how that area is doing. You know, and parts of Wilshire, not necessarily Wilshire, but like the other area I used to work called Park Place. I wonder how that area is doing, because it seems to me where anywhere there's trees, anywhere there's the ability for hills to descend or ascend, seems to be a risk at this point. My old neighborhood, anything with a lot of shrubbery, anything with a lot of greenery in this area, if it ain't on fire right now, I wouldn't be totally surprised if it ends up on fire by the end of the week. Like, that's just how this is starting to go. And if it's deliberate as it seems like it is, then there may be new fires popping up that don't have nothing to do with the ones that are burning right now, with the intention of continuing to have them close in on the entire county. And so we're talking about, at this point, already over 200,000 people been evacuated to various parts of the city. And you're talking about a city, I don't know what the estimate is on how many people are here, but it's millions. Millions with an S. So it's like, this can get very strange for us if these firefighters aren't successful in slowing this thing down. And judging by the way that it's burning, I think it's meant for them not to be, if I'm being completely honest with you. That's what I think. I think this fire is burning in such a way it's meant for them not to be able to stop it. And who knows what type of weapons they are using on us right now. And that's exactly what I think that could be possible here. Weapons. You know, not necessarily bombs or nothing like that, but just igniters. Different types of experimental igniters that are supposed to burn rapidly, be not as easy to stop or what have you. Stuff like that. I think that type of thing is probably what we need to be looking at right now as regards to what you're looking into to investigate what's happening to the city. That's what I think. Just my thoughts. Nothing substantial. I mean, homework, but you look at some of these areas that have been devastated. We never seen anything like this. And for people to say this is a natural disaster, well, I need to know what the science is behind that. How is it that we've never seen fires like this in our lives, and now randomly we're starting to see fires all over the place during the toughest wind season ever? You know, that is weird to me. But that's what I have to say about that, man. It's just, you know, I don't really know what's next, man. My city, it's really been home my whole life, and if it's the end of Los Angeles as I know it, I feel bad. But you know, as I told you guys in my previous therapy sessions, I just know that there's a reckoning for a lot of what this country has done, and this city's a big part of this country, a huge part of the determining factor of what happens with this country. Los Angeles, California specifically. It's a lot of people here with a lot of sway all over the world who move the needle in a lot of different ways. And there's a reckoning for a lot of the wrongdoing that has been done. And you don't know what form it's coming, but as somebody who's been paying attention to genocide, and we talked about this yesterday ad nauseum, I just feel like karma is due. And I don't know what form it's coming for a lot of these people. But when you were aligning with the type of suffering, and you was fine and happy to see the type of suffering that those people in Gaza are going through, and you know that it's your money that's paying for it. The desperation that these people are praying out to the Most High in regards to not only saving themselves, but bringing forth a revenge toward what happened to them. A lot of us play like we don't believe in God, or maybe we don't believe in God, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not listening to the people who do. And that's a costly mistake that I think a lot of what is going on has abandoned the idea that there could potentially be something reacting to our actions. And I just, some people say, oh, this is the end of the world. I'm like, maybe not the whole world, but it might be the end of this. It might be the end of this little world where people get to sit up here and support genocide and not have to face destitute, if that's the right word, or devastation in their own neighborhoods. It might be the end of that. A lot of these celebrities, I think it's a lot of their karma that's coming down on our city, to be honest with you. I really think that. Some of y'all, and of course we talked about this for the last year. Y'all was quiet. Y'all shouldn't have been quiet. I made so many videos leading up to these times that we're dealing with right now. Some of these same people who didn't care nothing about what was going on in genocide in circumstances in Gaza and Congo. They don't want to talk about nothing that goes against Israel and this and that. But a lot of them were not in the dark about what Israel's doing. A lot of them have not been in the dark about what Israel was about for years. Years and years and years. I've only been aware of Israel's intentions for like a year now. I ain't known. I wasn't in the know. As soon as I became aware, that's when I started to understand that, okay, I need to use my voice to try to bring an end to this. In the spirit of those who were abolitionists, who freed my family with their unselfish intentions. I got to do the same thing for the Palestinian people. Pay it forward the energy that's been afforded myself. That's what came to me as a black person, as a person of Native American descent. It's like, yo, we've had a lot of bad things happen to us. Far be it from me to co-sign the poor treatment of others and the displacement of others and the torture and terrorizing of others. I, when become aware of that, immediately feel the responsibility to speak up and annoy the hell out of people on this channel who follow me, who don't want to hear this, and continue to with confidence, because at the end of the day, this ain't right. What you're allowing these people to go through ain't right. And because I am a black person, I'm afforded the understanding of what it feels like, to a degree, to suffer the long-term ills of these type of behaviors pointed at you. To have people smear you like you're a bad guy when you don't have those intentions represented in your actions. This country has done a great job of telling you who I am, and just like they've done a great job of telling you who the Arab people are, without actually taking into account who they actually are. And it's just, at some point in time, all of that is returned just like any other type of karma. And the sick thing about it is a lot of people who don't believe in karma making these decisions for the rest of us, and we have to suffer the ills of their karma coming back to them. That's the sick part about it. People setting themselves up without actually believing that such a thing is going on. And I've been trying to use my voice in all of these therapy sessions that I could, try to get people to understand that I've already been shown some things that show me that there's another entity in the world. Maybe you don't believe in God. Maybe it's some type of alien frequency. I don't know. I really don't know. I believe it's God. That's what I want to tell people. But when it comes down to it, if I had to take a lie detector test and tell you what the heck I feel I just tell you what I was taught. But the reality is that type of energy has already been communicating with me in its own way, however it does. And that's something maybe you call me crazy for saying this to you. Maybe you think there's something wrong with me and my mental illness is what's causing this. But I can't tell you that there isn't tangible things aligned with the advice provided. Timing things I've asked for that come out of nowhere, that didn't look like they were going to line up, but there they were. And stuff like that allows me to trust that energy as it communicates whatever it does, whenever it feels. And the energy that keeps coming to me lately is, I got your back, but I'm stumping through this place. I am strutting was the word that came to mind. I'm strutting through this place. That's what came to me on New Year's Eve. I'm strutting through here, and now I look around and see what's come about, and I'm like, yeah, I guess you are. And so that's what I want people to understand. I learned to trust that voice when I was going through some of the most difficult times in my life. That communication from that entity that I believe is God. That energy was telling me how to get through this, for which I've come to understand was on deliberate purpose, putting me in the position to be in North Hollywood when I was in North Hollywood. Not just that I'm here, but how things transpired to line up to me being here at this moment. Aligned with me going through displacement and watching genocide take place at the same time, so that I would have a heightened respect for my responsibility to speak to the urgency of what it feels like to be displaced. Not that I know anything about what they're going through, but that's not the point. Just that I know enough about being pulled away from my own place to understand that it is within my place to raise awareness for those who are going through things that are significantly worse than that. I don't know that I would have respected it the same way if I was still over in Lenox with all of my comforts around me and the anxieties that I had built up over time of deep isolation, and my habits of marijuana keeping me from constantly being focused. Like, being in this situation in this way has pulled me away from all of those things, put me back outside, and ultimately created what I've come to get used to, which is walking down this street telling you guys whatever it is I had to tell you. So that entity was leading me toward this through events that I felt like were mistakes. But as I used to tell y'all on my channel, felt very right. Things that the world would tell me, yo, you shouldn't do that because it's going to mess up this, and this. But when I prayed about it, it was like, no, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. And as you go through what it is you're going to go through, you'll feel that this was the only way. And maybe you made some mistakes along the way, but it was meant for you to fall into realities that the mistakes provide. So you did some things that you shouldn't have did. You paid for it. But if you would have did the things that you were supposed to do, you wouldn't be where I need you to be in the moment I need you at. And so it's like, that's why it felt so right to quit my job and never return. That's why it felt so right to buy those shares and ultimately let them dwindle down to nothing. It is why a lot of mistakes that I made were made so that I could be where I'm at the time I'm at, in the mindset I'm in. Because if I would have did any of those things differently and took a left when he told me to go right, or went against the grain and listened to what the world was telling me to do, which was right, I wouldn't be where I need to be at this moment. He would have had to do multiple things to put me where he wanted me to be that were never necessary, just that I follow what my heart would be. And that's what I'm telling all of you. When I use confidence in myself to speak on this channel about things that people who have immense amount of wealth are afraid to say, knowing that I don't have a single dollar to give to a security guard to have my back, that type of courage comes from the understanding that the purpose that I'm aligned with has always been leading up to ultimately what I'm doing. That this has always been lined up. It's always been directed by a greater source. And all the times I told y'all I'm doing this, it doesn't feel wrong, even though the world tells me I probably should do it differently for the betterment of my circumstances. I'm still going with what feels right. Now that I'm in the space I'm in, I understand why I did those things. now that I have the lens that I'm looking through to survey all that I'm looking at, and I have a certain confidence, now I understand why all of that had to be. And so when I tell you the Zionists are wrong and that everybody around me is afraid to tell the truth about them, and as a result, everything around me is burning because of their complicit nature to adhering to these people, I believe that's exactly what it is. I believe that if LA stood up against genocide the way that they were supposed to, this place wouldn't be on fire at all. I believe that. And as I look at some of those same publications that have been teaching me about what's going on in genocide, it's the same thing they're saying about my city. And we prayed the reckoning would come, and now it's coming to y'all. Yeah, I'm not the face of the city. They didn't know I existed. They didn't know I've been sitting up here every day. I don't take it personally. I agree with them. This is Zionist capital of the world. You damn right it's going to burn to the ground in result of the complicity to genocide. You damn right it's going to burn to the ground. It's going to burn hot. And that's what people need to understand. Kids suffered, man. I cannot stress this enough. Babies suffered. Not just like nothing regular, no. Like literally suffered ills that you terrified about, that you wake up out of your dream in cold sweats. That's what they went through on their way out as infants. Parents crying out to God. You know, carrying their bodies down the streets in bags. Like, you ain't about to just align with that because of some man-made fabrication of power created by people who were doing this to those people, being adhered to by you, who's supposed to be aligned with something greater than yourself if you call yourself a believer. A lot of people that align with Israel are people who call themselves Christians. You think you're going to get away with that? You think you're going to have your back? Mothers crying out like that. It's a lot of people, and I said, and you know, this is like almost a replete of yesterday's video, but that's the only thing that's really left to say, because that's really the reality of what we're looking at. There's the complete and utter karma that comes with being absolutely complicit to the suffering of people, undeserving, seeing them cry out to the top of their lungs, praying for some end to their suffering. The suffering continues today. And the same karma that I believe is burning down the city is still being reinforced in regards to the energy that caused it right now. They still bombing Gaza right now as we speak. They're killing people right now. Thousands of hostages being held by Israel, considered prisoners. Some of them children. They ain't do nothing but throw a rock at somebody who was trying to steal something from them, and all of a sudden they put in jail for the rest of their lives, having weird stuff done to them. And this is who you want to align with as a country. And you think there's going to be no reckoning? I don't understand why anybody would be surprised. I don't understand why anybody would be surprised. A lot of y'all in the midst of the situation still supporting Israel, still think Israel's right. They done bought and paid your government off to align with things that only they believe in, man. Only they believe in. Only they believe in. They know damn well the rest of the world ain't on board with their craziness. It's not meant for us to be. They're supposed to be the chosen ones. We're supposed to be underneath them in their minds. Why the hell would anybody else go along with that trash with them? If not for being absolutely and utterly bankrupt, empty, and compromised. It's the only way. It's not meant for you to be anything other than their slaves. They tell us that. That's jargon they use. And you want to align with those people for any reason? That's craziness. It's absolute insanity. But our country's done it. A big portion of our country has done that. A big portion of the state has done it. They align with them. Why? Because they got the money. Okay. What about the universe? A lot of people say, oh, we respect the universe. We respect the universe, the karma. They don't believe in God, but they believe in the universe, right? Okay, I respect. That's your belief. What about it? What's the universe think of you adhering to Israel and their bloodthirst for children? What does it think? Is it fine with that because the universe don't care about Israel, occupied Palestine? They don't care nothing about Palestinian children. You think the universe that you think controls everything in the galaxies and all this different stuff, the mathematics, you think it doesn't care nothing about kids? Like, that's the part that kills me. Do you think God gonna help you on the back end because that's all you could do? What you gonna tell God? There was nothing I could do? Like, I legitimately think it's a bunch of y'all that's gonna say to God at the end of your lives, I did the best I could, but Israel was in control of everything. You're gonna tell that to God, like literally. The Zionists, I mean, they were gonna take my career away. I worked too hard for this. I just imagine what the look on his face would be in the event you tell him something like that. I tell you this, I ain't gonna be telling him nothing like that. All hearing, all seeing, all creating power of infinite. I was afraid of the Jewish people. I thought that they would take something from me that I ultimately could not afford to lose. And they wanted to kill kids, but that was not my business. I stayed quiet. I supported them like I was taught to. And although you say that you don't play around with nobody and you're a jealous God and you crush lands in the building and crush Sodom and Gomorrah and showed all these examples of why you're not to be toyed with, at the end of the day, Israel had money, God. The Zionists had money. Were you going to pay my bills? Like, this is the type of conversation y'all going to be having with God, for real. I had a house in the Palisades. I couldn't have them take that from me. Like, literally, that's what y'all going to be saying to God at the end. That's why you let them people suffer, because that type of fear and concern, they were going to take everything from me. They would blackball me. I would be shunned by my friends. I'd be considered weird by those in the in crowd. The A-listers would look at me and shun me. They would smear me all over the internet. God, what would you have had me to do? Obviously, I could not afford to take that type of loss. To be shunned by everybody who was considered cool. I could not possibly be looked at as strange by my friends as I walked down Laurel Canyon. Like, this is the type of stuff y'all gonna be saying to God. And what's the look gonna be on his face? Well, how do you think the crowd around him is gonna be reacting to the stuff that's coming out of your face? They're gonna be sitting up chuckling, laughing, pointing, giggling, shaking their head, looking at you with the most absurd looks on your face, because at the end of the day, you're talking to God. And you're telling him that you're adhering to his enemy in human flesh and form, in the killing of innocent children, so that you could keep something that ended up being taken from you anyway. Like, the level of stupidity a lot of y'all engage in, when it really comes down to it, it's laughable. It's absolutely laughable. For your sake, I hope there is no God. Unfortunately, I don't have the privilege of believing that. He's already communicated with me a million times, which is why I'm telling you this right now. It's about to get really ridiculous on Judgment Day for a lot of y'all. Ridiculous. Some of y'all would be best to just look at God and say, I was foolish, send me where I'm going. Don't even sit through the humiliation of having to deal with what that conversation will be for you. Because it's absolutely and utterly ridiculous to even go down that road. I was afraid of the Jews. You chose them, didn't you? They controlled everything. They were going to take away what I had. Talking to the one that gave you everything you are. Like, don't do it to yourself. Just say, God, I'm going to hell. Thank you, I'm out. You don't have to even escort me there. I'm going now. I'll walk. Thank you. No need. That's what most of y'all need to do. that were aware of what was going on in Palestine and didn't care because you were afraid of losing something down here in life. I just say, God, send me there. I know I don't deserve to be in heaven. Just send me there. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. You do better just saying, yo, it don't even matter. I'm just prepared to burn. Because that's exactly where you're headed. I'm telling you, man, there's nothing greater. And I say this with a lot of confidence because I've been through a few things and he's helped me through it. There's nothing greater than God. And that's not just me saying a prayer. I mean, like, literally, when you talk about the most effective and efficient entity time and space will ever understand, it's the creator of said entity. Greatness, like Michael Jordan and like that, Tiger Woods. There's nothing greater than God. So if you're going to defy him in the spirit of allowing wrongdoing around you and not speaking up against wrongdoing around you, and the smearing of innocence, you got to understand that it's going to be rather ridiculous for you in the end. You yourself are going to feel very foolish talking to him like that, saying to him what all you were afraid of losing in a fleeting life that you were not immortal within. Whatever you have, you're leaving it behind if you don't lose it in life. You can't take it with you. And you're going to tell him that you were trying to preserve all of that? So you allowed things to happen on your watch that were as egregious as genocide? You're going to tell him, well, I mean, with all due respect, God, they weren't white. They weren't chosen. So, of course, they deserve to die and be considered terrorists, aren't they? Are they not terrorists? Like, you would do better playing stupid, to be honest with you. They'll say, well, God, you let me to believe they were chosen. You let them warp my mind. It's your fault, God. I only believe Palestinians were terrorists because I was taught that. Like, that'd probably be a better way to approach it, to be honest with you. Maybe if you plead ignorance, he'll have pity upon you. But if you tell him you were trying to keep something that ultimately you weren't going to live forever to have any damn way, I don't think he's going to be too kind to you. I don't think that. Or that you were trying to be on the in crowd with a bunch of people he created that he told to do something that they didn't do. Bunch of you, basically. I was trying to stay in with the in crowd. Well, you're going to be in the crowd now, for sure. You're going to spend the rest of eternity with each other thinking about all of this. Like, literally. You wanted to be close to these people. You wanted to be on the in crowd with them. Y'all all going to be together. That's the truth. Maybe it was a good idea that you tried to get in good with these people and align with their politics. Because you're definitely going to be in dealing with their politics in the afterlife. It ain't going to be nothing but y'all and the devil. So maybe it is a good idea you align with them. Maybe it is a good idea you let them do all types of stuff. Because you're going to spend a lot more time with them than you are on this earth, believe me. Y'all going to be together for sure. When you look at it from that point of view, it all makes sense. It makes all the sense in the world when you consider it that way. I'm telling you, man. Burning is just a prelude to your afterlife. Y'all want to compare what's going on to y'all to what's happening in Gaza. Prelude to your afterlife. You haven't begun to go through what they're going through, but you're going to go through worse, believe that. Don't even worry about it. Just wait on it. Keep on going. The day will come where you will really be able to relate to what's going on in Gaza. What'll be happening around you will really be relatable. Keep on watching. A lot of y'all going straight to it. And I'm telling you right now, I ain't going to be there with you. I'm the one telling you don't be ridiculous. Whatever the heck I do, if I'm burning for something, I ain't going to be in the room with y'all. I ain't going to be in there with y'all. I'll tell you that. Not with the pro-Israel people. No. to kill the Palestinian children because they're brown people. No, I'm not doing that. No, I ain't gonna be in that room. I ain't gonna be in that room at all. I'm totally different politics from me. I don't do nothing like that. So y'all better enjoy me while you have my voice down, because when it comes down to it, I ain't gonna be nowhere near you when it's all over. This is all you're gonna see of me. I'm telling you, man. Y'all like playing with God, man. I don't understand it. Y'all like playing with him. Y'all like pretending like he told you something he didn't tell you. Adhere to the Jewish people. God ain't never told me to adhere to no little hats, bro. Not one time in my life did I hear that in the spirit say, you are to align with Jews because they are the chosen few, and I wanted you to just allow them to do whatever they wanted to do. Don't defy them. I ain't never heard that in no form of meditation whatsoever. Ain't nothing in my heart, in my mind, in my logic, none of that ever pointed in that direction. You would have had to teach me that, and then I would have to go against my own spirit to align with it. That's the reality of it. And because I didn't get any of that teaching, nobody warped my brain with that garbage. It's not there. It's not there. And I tell you, as sure as my name is BDF44, I have communicated with the higher power on a lot of things, some of which he wasn't happy with. He told me when he wasn't happy with me, and then I ended up paying hard. Get sick. Stuff happened in my life directly after me doing something I had no business doing. Horrible thing take place. Like, I know when I mess up. Because he does not hesitate to let me know, hey, you're going to suffer for that mess up. You played with me. You shouldn't have. And I'm putting you through this so that the testimony of playing with me will be something that you can share with others. What happens when you do? Each and every time you do. Yeah, that's what I'm able to live and say. He allowed me to survive some of the mistakes I made. I'm 40 years old, and I can tell you, don't play with him. Don't pretend he told you something when he didn't tell you something. Don't align with people that are doing stuff you know you should not align with. Just because they have this or have that and they can do this or do that, don't do it. Because I can tell you what happens when you do. It's bad. It's bad for you. I don't care what they have. I don't care what community of people are telling you need to align with them. And that's the problem we got going on right now as well. They have infiltrated in different communities, as I was listening to some brother talk about. Infiltrated in different communities. And supported those communities when they need them the most so that they would be supported at all times and looked at as the greatest folks. But at the end of the day, they were strategic in supporting who they felt would support them later, and indoctrinating the minds of those who would otherwise stand against them when they did things they had no business doing. Those people, in all of their self-exhaustion and care for only their community, would look at them and say, I remembered when they helped me, and I'm the center of the world for which matters, so when they do whatever they shouldn't do, I'm gonna look away because they came to me when I needed help. And I, being center of the universe, is all I give a shit about. Like, that's how a lot of these communities are. So they came through, maybe caused the problem itself and came with the solution. Maybe just came with the solution. I don't know. But that's how they get down. They supported you when you needed them. Now, you support them when they're doing whatever the heck they're doing that they shouldn't be doing. Yeah, that's a real thing. Very strategic. Come through with the most opportune time, if that's the way to word it. They came through at the absolute right time to support your community, and as a result, they put money in your pocket. They put some of y'all through school. They put some of y'all in positions of power. They put some of y'all in all different types of ways that you are thankful for. And you didn't give a damn how they treated anybody else because they treated you right, and that's it. That type of ignorance. They treated me right. I don't care what they do to nobody else. They got my back. If they control everything, they'll continue to have my back. So let me just let them have my back. That type of stupid ignorance is part of why they're so powerful today. Why they have so many people complicit to the silence they need to continue doing the stuff they have no business doing. It's because of that type of stuff and that type of main character syndrome that a lot of communities have. All we care about is us. All we care about is us. All we care about is us. That is manipulatable, you idiots. That is manipulatable. I keep telling people that is manipulatable. If you only care about yourself, you can definitely be manipulated by a power that's intentional on garnering your support for things that you have no business supporting. They can always have you reflecting negatively upon yourself in that way, because you're the center of attention and they know exactly how to string against your hearts. They know. They did good for me. Yeah, but they killing them, they slaughtering them, they burning them, got their kids on fire, teasing them with stuff they cannot have just to torture them when they finally get a hold of it. Like that type of stuff, telling people that they're the worst people in the world. Yeah, but they came through for me. That's how they got their power, off that type of self-exhaustion. I'm the most important character in the movie bullcrap. Just like they own. They feel they're the most important character in the movie. So, of course, they know how to adhere to that type of thinking. They embody it. I keep telling people, man, certain things we cannot go along with. I don't care how many people who are doing these things help you or appeal to you when you need them the most, or handed you a bottle of water when you were thirsty. If they're doing something they have no business doing under the presence of a living God, then the best thing you can do for them is hold them accountable for it, point it out, shun it, so that when they get to him, he doesn't have to do it. Because you would have been a part of the community that did it. It's love. Accountability in grace is love. You helped me, so let me tell you, you're doing something that you have no business doing. Stop. God's going to get you for that. It's better coming from me than from him. Let me warn you, this is bad. Nobody loves them enough to do that. Y'all notice how nobody loves them enough to do that? That's why they've been carrying on like this for so damn long, because nobody loved them enough in the presence of whatever, however, to say, yo, here's some accountability, friend. I know you hate me for my accountability, but you're going to be happy that I held you accountable in the end, because at the end of the day, what's coming for you is far worse than any shunning that I'm providing. Far worse than any difficulty that you would go through from the static that comes from me. I'm not going to terrorize you for eternity. I may tell you you're a bad guy for doing what you're doing, but I'm actually preparing you for what ultimately is coming for you. That's accountability love, man. And a lot of people are not teaching one another accountability love because they want to do what they want to do and stay as weak as they are. That's it. They want to stay as weak as they are. They don't want to get stronger in the presence of accountability, teaching them how to be better, teaching them how to live without certain things that they tell themselves they can't live without, like power and wealth if necessary. They don't want to learn how to be able to live without those things. They want to live with those things at all costs and will create terror amongst the world around them so that they can obtain those things and keep those things. They want the easy route above whatever strength comes from taking the hard route. And I'm telling you, I am telling you, allowing them to do that ain't love. If they gave you a water when you were thirsty, then the best way to love them is to show them accountability that ultimately they're depraved of, that's left them as spoiled as they've been. You can't do that. Whatever you're doing, you should stop. You afforded me the grace to give me what I need. Now let me give you what you need. But people are too afraid of losing what they have to tell the truth to who needs to hear it. This shouldn't be good. It's very bad for your spirit. Instead, they just sit back and let them do whatever they want to do. Let them stay as weak as they are. Let them stay as powerful as they are. And they just keep on doing stuff that reflects poorly upon them. And then when the wrath comes, it falls on them 20 times harder than that accountability would have ever been. They feel 10 times stronger to be able to swing at God, and their arms ain't long enough to box with you. You coerced them into that space by being indifferent to the suffering they caused others instead of holding them accountable for that suffering. You could have helped them people. You could have helped the people they were hurting, and you could have helped the people who were doing the killing by holding the people who were doing the killing accountable for the killing. And let them know that this was never okay. Under God, it was never okay. But y'all refused to do that. Instead, you took their money and you became yes men for them. Yes, whatever you say. Yes, of course. We'll clap for you. Oh, yeah. It's fine. Knowing damn well God was going to come down hard on them for the stuff they were doing. But you let them do it. Yeah, it's fine, man. Do it. Yeah. Oh, them people, yeah, they're terrible, man. Oh, they're the worst people in the world. You don't like them, huh, man? We hate them. Like that's what y'all did. And you wonder why your state's burning down. You wonder why your country's about to go to crap. You wonder why certain things that you had in place that was making so much money now is about to go to crap. This is why. Because you were part of the environment that was supposed to teach those who were doing wrong that it was not okay for them to do it under God. That there was something greater than them that was coming one way or another, that they couldn't stop. And if he got a hold of them, knowing no accountability came their way, he was going to hit them with a wrath far worse than anything that you would have thrown at them. It's the love of accountability. They had put that in their books. The love of accountability is not in their books. They are not accountable for. They don't have to be held accountable. They're chosen. They don't need to like nothing. They can do whoever they want to whoever they want for as long as they want. That makes you weak. That makes you weak. I'm telling you, it doesn't make you strong. It makes you weak. Make life easy for yourself, hard on everybody else. Call yourself victims anytime anything happens to you. It makes you weak, man. It does not make you strong. And when the accountability comes from the one on high, then you understand that it's far worse than anything you would have taken on from the community around you that loved you enough to just tell you you were wrong, man. Simply tell you were wrong. Normalize telling people in power, yo, you shouldn't do that. Not while there's a God in the sky and he ain't going nowhere. You shouldn't do that. Leave those people alone. Don't believe that nonsense. Don't go along with that propaganda. You may have been taught that. Your grandparents may have been taught that. But it doesn't lead to anything that you're going to like. It's literally okay to tell people these type of things. And in this world, it is not. And so that's why I'm here to tell y'all, man. We've been doing things the wrong way, coercing each other in the wrong ways, being taught by people who were taught the wrong things, by people who didn't know any better than to teach the wrong things. And the cycle's gone on for a long time, and it's led up to where we're at. And now we're finding ourselves in circumstances where it may be no turning back. And I'm just trying to help. I'm legitimately trying to help. By normalizing conversations such as these, where I tell you it's okay to tell somebody who's helped you that they're doing something they have no business doing. It's okay to look at people in power and say, yo, hey, that's not good. I understand you have a lot of power and I understand you can do a lot to me. And I know you don't want to be held accountable, but I believe in a God above me. And he's telling me, or he's led me to believe in one way or another, that this is the best way to love you. Stop doing the things that you do. Do it in the spirit of love, man. Whatever the wrath or karma that comes from doing things the wrong way will be inverted in the way that allows you to endure any harm that would otherwise come your way for doing the right thing. I wish more people believed that so they wouldn't be so fearful of what happens when they do the right thing to the wrong people. You know what I mean? Like, tell them, not me, because you don't fear me and I can't do nothing to you, so you can always hold me accountable. Thanks for the love. But them, they who you fear, who can take everything from you, you need to tell them, stop doing what you're doing. In a world where there is no God, there's no problem doing anything you want to do. But in a world where there's actually something to adhere to, you're running toward a brick wall and it's going to hurt when you hit it. I promise. Just being honest, man. So that's what I'm trying to tell people, man. They're going to call me a terrorist sympathizer or, anti-Semitic. They're going to say all types of stuff about me. But anybody who's listened to every word I said can interpret exactly what I meant. And know exactly the spirit behind it, because I'm not speaking some type of weird language. This is modern day English. You should have told the Zionists not to kill the Palestinians. You should have told the Zionists not to invest in the Congolese genocide. You should not have allowed them to do what they did to Sudan. You should not have allowed them to do what they did to the black community. You should not allow them to do any of those things that they've been doing for the last 100 years or more. You shouldn't have allowed it. You let them do it, and that wasn't love, friend. It wasn't love. It was fear. It was adherence to your own selfishness. You allowed those people to do things they had no business doing and believe they were victims while doing it. You did not love them. PDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.